So let's do a little warm up and then we'll get started, and like take yourself off mute anytime. But what we'll do is we'll kind of like work through a few little things and then we'll work on building them. And then if you find anything like too hard, let me know, and vice versa. If you're like, oh, how could I make this like a little bit harder? Let me know and we can structure it from there. Cool. So let's do a little warm up. I'm not going to use music because I want you to be able to hear what I'm saying and you won't be able to. So let's do it. Cool. So standing up. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable. If you do have a block, sometimes I like to use them just because I'm not feeling very flexible, but if not, doesn't really matter, you don't need to have it. So just starting legs nice and wide for me. We're just going to start with some little spinal rolls. So I want you to try to articulate movement through your spine as much as possible. So we're just going to start opening the legs out. Try to squeeze the sides of your glutes a little bit and then maintain that. Try to keep your core nice and tight. And we're just going to start rolling all the way down, tucking the head and rounding to come up. So dropping the hips all the way down, tucking the head and through. So 3. We're going to do about 10 of these ones. Just try to get really super low in your squat. 9, good. And we're going to do one more. And then what I want you to do is lead with the head instead. So you're going to go down with the head, really rounding with that. Sink the hips so you're in a deep squat or plie. Look up. And then I want you to really reach up, leading with the chest. So if I'm from the side, I'm rounding all the way down. Looking up and then trying to really open by leading with the center of my sternum. So down and up. All the way through. So I'm just trying to get the spine moving, both forward and back. Good, and we're going to round that now. So I'm going to go to the side, just round the back all the way down, deep as well. Open the shoulders to look up, and then relax it down. So try to let the shoulders kind of guide your circle now, round from the body. Nice, and as we come around to our squat, we're going to take it to the other side. Nice, so 3 more, big circles. Once you come into a squat, you're going to stay there. So you're going to come low. What I'm going to do is push into that right knee, but what I'm trying to do is stretch just the outside of my spine, the inside of my scapula, so the inside of that wing bone. So more of a stretch across the back than the shoulder on the other side. Just a little bit. Nice and coming up. We're going to bring my hands up to the ceiling. I'm going to tuck my pelvis, so from that position, arch back. I'm going to tuck my pelvis under. And I'm going to reach my shoulders up towards the sky. And what I'm going to do is take a little reach forward while I stick my tailbone out. So I'm really reaching here, right, as much as I can. I want to keep stretching the shoulders forward. And I'm going to just start individually lifting the hands. So I'm going to go 1, and then squat to my left 2. 1, 2, just up and back. So trying to reach as much as I can. Trying to maintain the tucking of my rib cage in my belly. So just alternating up and down. So I'm really thinking about seeing if I can get my shoulders to touch my ears. So getting a lot of length. Nice, and then we're just going to keep them out in front, and I'm going to open my arms out to the side. I'm going to slightly bend my elbows, and I want to think of squeezing in between my shoulder blades. So I'm going to try to maintain that, and then squeeze up. So thinking of bringing the backs of the shoulders up, I'm still keeping flat to the floor. And then what I'm going to do is take my hand, and if you imagine your hands come down, so my palms are facing behind me, and then I keep twisting them so now my thumbs face behind me, so it's essentially a twisted grip. And I'm going to take the twisted grip back and behind my body as far as it will go. So I'm going to do a little pulse there, for 10. And then what we're going to do is take it back forward. So we're going to do all 3. So I'm going to go hands up. 1, out wide, behind. We go 1, 2, 3, 1. Palms facing the floor and then thumbs facing back. And then really thinking about all that activation. Your lower back should feel like those muscles are working on the side of your spine. Last one. Good, and then you're going to take it up. So then we're going to take it into that spinal roll down again, so rolling all the way through, rounding the back to come up, and then taking the head down again, and looking up. So we'll go again, palms up, open up, roll all the way down, rounding the back to come up, taking the head back to the floor first, rounding through the spine, look up. Nice, and again, one more time. Nice big reach, come down, roll it up, take the head to the floor, sit the hips, look up. You're going to take now the hand up to the ceiling. So my palm's facing that way, hand on the hip. I want to try to keep my belly nice and tight, so I'm lifting up through those lower abs underneath my ribs, and then I'm taking a little reach to the side. So from that position, I'm trying to squeeze my bum a little bit so I stay supported, and then I'm going to take it forward, and I'm going to turn my foot as I reach forward. Good, and then I'm going to take that hand all the way down, and take a big circle and watch it as it comes over the top. Good, and then I'm going to roll forward again. So we're doing that little circle around. There's lots of extending through the shoulders in some of these flow type movements. So lots of cut grip, lots of lengthening through your lats. So we want to really feel that lengthening, stretching through the side. So we go other side. So starting off, I just kind of hold that little space between my outer thigh and my hip bone. Good, and then one little hold. And I'm always lengthening back, so my tailbone's reaching behind me and then my hands really reaching forward. Good, and then I'm going to take a big circle. So we go up and over, to the side, forward, and then reach. So 1, 2, and around. Do a couple more of those. And I'm really just putting so much effort into trying to reach as far as I can. Nice, and then come back into center. So, what we're going to do is take it all the way down. So what I want you to try to do is we're going to go to the floor. So I'm going to open my back up a bit, just for you to watch one. When we come down, I'm going to come down as deep as I can. So I'm opening up my hips. When I straighten, I'm going to straddle, but I'm going to reach my hands forward as I straddle, and then my hands want to come up first. So I'm going to try to reach the thumbs up, then reach it all the way up to the sky. So all of those movements are kind of coming together, all the way down to the floor. Straddle, lifting the tailbone behind as you reach up, and then taking it all the way down. So we go forward, up. Nice and circular, tailbone up. Two more. So you're really trying to get the hands to lift the floor before you allow the body to come up. Good. And coming up. I'm going to turn to the side for you. A couple more little movements. We're going to jump on the floor. I'm going to start with a roll down, so a little Pilates roll down. Feet parallel. So when I say parallel, just kind of mean inside of your hip bones should match or around about the line between your big toe and your second toe. So if I have two little strings, hopefully when I bend my knees, the inside of my hip bone tracks nicely through the center of that knee down in between that big toe and second toe. And that just is going to kind of help me keep my knees from rolling in, rolling out, or my feet being too wide, too close. So we're there. I'm going to tuck those underneath. I have a feeling of lifting. And my shoulders are going to be rolled back but relaxed. And I'm going to start by lengthening through the tip of my head. I'm going to take my chin to my chest, and I'm going to allow my shoulders to roll forward. As I start rolling, my head is going to draw me to the floor. It's a bit super heavy. And then you want to think like a slinky. So imagine just each part of that slinky pulling you to the floor. When I get to the ground, I'm going to bend my knees so that I take all the tension out of my hamstrings. And then I'm going to start by tucking the pelvis. So imagine the tailbone pushes down towards the back of the knees. First, my upper body stays relaxed. And then as I'm driving through my legs, I tuck the tailbone and I stack the vertebrae one on top of each other till I'm standing tall and I've lengthened through the top of my head. So we're going to go a little faster, chin to chest. So we're going to go down for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then driving through the tailbone to tap 2, 3, 4, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, up, 2, good. We're going to speed it up to 2 counts. We'll go 1, 2, up, and again, down, 1, 2, nice. This time when we come down, we're going to run. And I'm going to cross my arms over the top. And what I'm going to try to do is lift my tailbone. And as I lift the tailbone, I'm going to squeeze my thighs just a little bit enough to support my hamstrings. And I'm going to look up as I lift my elbows up. I'm going to try to lift into that same flat back position. So I'm going to go a little stretch through my hammies. And I'm going to relax down, keeping my back quite as long as possible. Now I'm going to tuck my tailbone to roll up. So I go down, flat back to lift, down, and then tucking in. So we go 3 more. Back up. 2. Tuck up. And 1. And relax it down. You can take your hands down. You're going to shoot one leg back, one leg forward. Come into a little bit of a lunge. Keep your back leg nice and straight for me, squeezing your bum. A little bit of a squeeze of the thigh. Nice. You're going to hold that little position. And then I'm just going to do a little lift up. When I lift up, I'm going to keep my front leg rolling away from me. That's going to help me just sink my hip. We're not going to do too many of these, but we're going to do a little bit of engagement in our quads. So we're going to come down into a little bit of a lunge. And then as we come up, just really thinking about that roll away of the front thigh. So down to this is where, if you have trouble with your hands, finding a block might be a little bit helpful for you. Nice, so we're going to just jump it up, come forward, take it to the other side. Again, not doing too many. Flexi is not really the name of the game today, so we're coming down, squeezing your quad, squeezing your bum a little bit, pushing it up. So here I'm thinking about my thigh rolling out, and that just kind of helps me sink my hip a little bit and square my hips out. And I'm going to come down and coming up. Just moving up and down, just the way you feel comfortable. As I said, not so much for the name of the game, just trying to get flexy. You just want your hamstrings and your quads to be a little bit of weight enough that you feel like you're engaged. Nice, and then you're going to jump it forward. Nice, so I'm going to take a little sit onto the floor, however you feel comfortable. We're going to, I'm just going to come over here. We're going to keep our legs super straight. If you have a pole behind you, really good but mean way to stop yourself cheating this exercise is to get your hips all the way in flat and sit as tall as you can up it. So it's going to stop you rolling your hips under. So if I sit here, I should feel the base of my sacrum, the base of your hips. Yeah, touching and then sit as tall as you can. And then I want you to engage your quads. So kind of think a little strings touching your knees, pulling up into your quad muscles. And then I'm going to think of my bottoms of my heels pulling up into my calves. So I'm going to go for a little squeeze, and then I'm going to lift. And doing it here just stops me from tucking my pelvis to get high, so I can keep my ego in check. So a little lift, and then I'm going to place it down. So taking it into a little lift for 8 into the other side. Really squeezing the quad for me. Good, I'm going to do a little lift for 8. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Try to keep the quad squeezing. If it cramps at any point, just give it a little relax, give it a little punch. And 8, good. Other side, same thing. And relax, cool. Okay, come and sit. We're going to do some little flare movements because they're really important for these little backwards flares that we're doing. So all I'm going to do is sit with my legs straight and across the body. Good. Quads are really engaged. I'm going to come back onto my elbows. So all I want to do is I'm going to start like in a little flare up to the side to open, and I'm going to tuck and bring it over the top. And what I want you to think about when you're doing it, and everyone's done this movement before, is I want you to think about how when you open your legs to full extension, you feel yourself roll to the other hip. So that kind of takes you over. And then to get down, I want you to flip the top leg. So I actually want it to feel a little bit dynamic. So I'm going to go open, and then as I roll, flip. So nice and sharply. So we go over and flick. So there's a change of speed. It's going to be really important for the flow that we do. So we go out and flick. Nice. If we take it to on the pole, so if you imagined, we'll do this first so it makes sense. The bottom leg is really bent. This is connected to the floor. Right, this is the leg that's going to swing me around the pole. Now instead of going up so it feels a bit more like on the pole, I'm going to go kind of through like a dish shape to there and then tuck. So think about kind of pointing, I'm pointing to you, kind of to the top of my computer screen. So they go boom to there. So it's kind of open now rather than up to the ceiling. Open and then really snap it. Boom and then tuck. Nice. Cool beats. Last one. Just start sitting on the side. We're going to do a little bit of movement up into the shoulder. So I want you to start from the seated position and we're going to lift and I'm going to roll into that's it. So I'm going to try not to use my hands. Then I'm going to lift this hip and come into a seated position. So I'm going to go sit and here and sit. So think of shifting from your bottom leg. So this is my right leg hip. And then I'm trying to shift by skipping the belly to find both of my hips. And under. Then I'm going to bring my hand onto the floor. So I'm going to find a blade hand. So when I say that, I just mean as if you were chopping something, like your arm is a knife. This part of your hand is the blade, right? So up into my elbow. I'm going to place the blade on the floor. And then I'm going to try to draw my elbow close to my body. Yeah, and then that is going to allow my shoulder to roll to the ground really cleanly. And then when I get back up, I'm going to do the same thing to come out. So I'm going to push onto the blade. So that gets my shoulder off the ground. And then I'm going to push through to the fingertips. So if I kept that hand in front, I roll to the elbow. I really cleanly roll to my shoulder. So it feels nice and smooth. I haven't had to use anything else to get up. I push it into the elbow and the fingers, and then I push it up. Now, so if we go up into a little bit of a shoulder stand, we're going to go down and onto my shoulder. My hands can come out. I want you to swing the leg forward, so you're going to come onto your hip. And then what you want to do is allow your bottom foot to pivot. So I'm going to allow it to pivot by pivoting on my knee. Okay? So if I sit in my Z sit, my hand is out by my knee. I find the elbow. As I roll to my shoulder, my other hand now reaches across in opposite direction. And then what I'm going to do is place weight in that hand. And I'm going to now swing the leg and let my hip lift into a little pivot up. Nice. Then I bring the knee back, bring the foot back, seat the hip, and I sweep pushing through the blade now. Nice. One more time. So coming forward, you can now reach towards your leg to make it happen. Reach the hand, swivel up, nice and smoothly. Come down, bring it through, and out. Sweet. Take it to the other side. So sitting up, start just a few little twists into Z sit. So we're going to lean to our left. I'm going to lift the right hip and then go a little bit into internal rotation with the back hip. And then we're going to scoop the belly to sit. So we go in, sit up, really tall through the chest, then tuck into the side. We'll go one more time, tuck it in. So now think about the blade hand. So pinky all the way to elbow. It's going to go to my knee. I'm going to fold that to my elbow. And then I'm going to roll to the shoulder. And I'm not using this hand now, but you'll see when you do use it that it feels a lot easier. So we'll go one more time to elbow, just thinking about that roll to shoulder, pull it up and press. So now what I'm going to do is take this hand all the way around. I'm going to reach it. As I'm reaching, it makes it feel a little easier for me to roll because I've got that opposite limb reaching. So my hand's reaching, my right leg is reaching. And then I'm going to sweep the leg like I did before, allow it to pivot. Good. Drop the hip down, swing it back and up. So just do that 2 more times for me. And then once you've done that, we're good to go. Sweet, and then down. Awesome. Okay, so you can stand up. We won't chat yet. I will get started and then that way we can kind of start working a little bit. So, I'm going to work on a little sequence. Let's let's start with this first. So kind of a basic spin movement around the pole. All of this, by the way, or most of this, is much easier with hands because you don't stick to the pole, but we do need the back of our knees for one thing, so we're going to do it without. So if I start next to the pole, I'm going to lift my inside leg, bring it up, and I'm going to hook up. Okay, so as if I was doing a Cupid or as if I was doing a Genie spin. My hand's going to go on top in a cup grip, and my arm is fully extended, and my other hand is going to come an even length from top hand to bottom knee, and then down again, so that it feels like my knee is in the center of both of my hands. Yeah? And what that's going to do is bring my body to a point where my body feels like it's in line with my knee. So here and here. Now, when I hold on, what I want is to feel like this, to feel like my arms are fully extended, and then I'm pulling my chest through, really similarly, probably less so in pole, more on a lira, like we are using a pull down in order for us to lift it to an invert, right? We can do this on the pole, but it's a little bit because I hand it together. So we're here, hands on, and I'm going to be extended. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift onto the toe of my bottom foot, and I'm going to fall to the floor. To do that, I'm going to extend this top leg, and I'm going to lift it slightly off of the pole. So I want to use that little bit of active flexibility on the ground to feel like my leg is pushing to my face. And then because we didn't cheat, we sat upright and stuck our bum out. We want that, so we want to feel arched in the back, the leg squeezing towards us rather than this. Yeah, so that cheating tuck. So I'm going to go here. Here, I'm going to lift, okay? I'm going to try to stick my bum out, so arch in the back, and then I'm going to fall and hook my bottom leg spinning back around the pole. Okay, so what's going to happen is your hands are going to slide, and we want to, right? We want to feel them kind of slide down the pole. My top leg is not going to be in contact with the pole, and even my bottom leg, so my bottom knee is going to have to float just off the pole in order for us to get a really good spin to the ground, okay? I'll show you again next time. So we go here, okay, leg on, hands either side, I'm going to push up, okay, go onto my base toe, and then as I lean back, watch my head and bum arch so that I can pull and spin, and allow my hands to slide. So you see as I got to the ground, my hips are kind of in line with my knee, with my body really low. I'm just going to have a look. So really pull for me, both hands in cup grip. Sarah, try to have both your hands in cup. Yeah, nice, Tasha. Yeah, I think you were. Sorry, not Sarah, Jody. I was calling you by names I remembered you by, not, which was wrong, my bad. So go straight onto the other side as well. Nice. So Tash, try to get even more spin. Try not to control it so much. So what you guys want is you want to feel like, you want to almost feel like your hands are on the pole, but the rest of you is actually kind of floating slightly off of it, and we want to slide. So it's really important that you give yourself enough looseness in your hands to slide down the pole quite quickly. Without sliding, you're not going to spin. So that's something, I guess, people that don't do a lot of static, you're used to holding on super tight on the spin pole. We have to slide. If we don't slide, we're not creating rotations. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to move on because everyone's doing that really good. So this is the start of something different. So we're going to kind of add it on to something in a second. So what we want to do now, I'm going to come and take it into something slightly harder. So what we want to do, grab up. My inside arm's going to grab up and then going to grab on. I'm going to take a little step around, and I want to step forward, right? So if I'm taking a little step from behind the pole, I'm going to step off on my inside. My hand's quite high. I feel like this, so my hand's going to start wrist in line with my armpit. And then when I take my little step, I want to feel like I'm taking a swing with this leg from behind. So I'm going to swing back and stop. And you see, I don't personally always use this, but my bottom hand's going to push from quite a low level, think the base of your rib cage, so that it feels like I can maintain a space between me and the pole. If you wanted to make it a little bit bigger, you could start to the side, and then I would do that as a full spin to here, yeah? So if you're kind of ready to do one full rotation, yeah, really nice journey, I saw that. So if you take a step now from your start to facing the front, I'm going to try to do one full circle rotation. Taking a step off, I'm going to let the leg lead slightly in front of the body. So it's going to take a step away. I'm going to let it stay there. And I'm going to try to catch in front. So try to keep the hand nice and loose. Really push with the base hand. Yeah, nice. And then land. So try to turn as much as you can into your leading leg. So what I mean by that is try to actually turn the body into the bottom arm and then let that leg lead so that it doesn't become a star spin. So that we're not here, we're more here. So see how I'm kind of turned into my shoulder as my legs turn across the body. Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool, okay. Once you land, do that same thing on the other side, pull it a couple times. So taking a step inside leg, just taking that little step around with a push. So you want to feel like you're kind of spinning in a split leg, yeah, as opposed to spinning in a star shape. I don't know what you guys call that. We call this star where we face the pole. Call it whatever you want, doesn't matter. Names don't exist to me anymore. Nice, beautiful. Okay. That's enough, so you guys got that. So what we're going to do is as we take a step onto that leg, my left hand, so that's my bottom hand, I'm going to switch and lean and grab past my leg. So if I'm here, I've gone to there, I'm going to now take my back leg off and I'm going to lean past the pole till that leg fits in the back of my knee and I'm going to catch the pole. So if I show you in motion, then I've gone step, here, and then I'm going to turn in and I'm going to fall backwards to the okay, so I've fallen with the bottom leg hooked in to a genie like we were before with the top leg straight and we are here. Okay, so kind of similar-ish movement to what we just did but a little bit harder. So if I show you again, I'm going to take a step, I'm going to do my full spin. I take a step, so I should be facing that way, and I'm going to switch to look at my back leg, and I'm going to allow myself to fall past the pole with that leg in front of me. Okay, you go. Yes. Yes, AJL, that's the one. Yep, so Sarah, yep, and then, so you want to grab, yep, no, that's right. Try to get your hips past the pole more. So your bottom leg, Sarah, won't be on the ground, won't be on the floor. I can't see past your knees, so actually it's really hard for me to see what you're doing, yeah. So land and stop. So now put the weight in your left leg. Yep, and take the other leg off the ground completely. Yep, now you want to aim the back, you want to aim to get the back of the knee on the pole. Now lift your left hand up higher. Yep, that's it, and grab across and fall backwards. Yes, like that though. Does that make sense? So from here, so I started opposite hand on the pole, right, to my weight. Yeah, and then you did this right. So once I switch, I'm going to grab up, but I'm grabbing a cup grip. Yeah, so both hands are going to get grabbing a cup grip like we did before, and then I'm going to slide to the floor from there. So same movement as what we just did in that genie. So step, switch, find the floor. Yeah, nice. It's very confusing. It's okay. So step. So try to switch side to sides if you can, guys. Grab and swap. Nice. So Tash, for the sake of, because you're obviously very strong, for the sake of the flow element of it, try to slow down the transition between when your foot lands and when your hands grab. Does that make sense? So where I guess the flow element comes in is, besides the spinning, when we're stepping, the movement becomes smooth from here. Does that make sense? From that little transition from grabbing the pole across. So you want to almost not see that full, the knee hook onto the pole partially. It wants to kind of feel like it slowly falls into it. So you want to feel like your spins remain the same speed. Does that make sense? Mike is nodding. Jody, how are you going? Take a step. Yep. Okay, so Jody, what you want to do, at the moment, I'm trying to work out what hand you have up. So your right hand is up, right? Nod if that's correct. Yep, so your right hand is up. So your left leg is going to land on the ground. And as soon as you land on the ground, I want you to lift your right leg. So land facing me, just at the front of the pole, and stop. Stop there. Oh, yep. Now turn towards your bottom shoulder. So go that way. Yep, that's it. Now pick up your back leg so it's not in contact with the floor. Yep, and you're going to hook on your knee. Now I want the other hand to come across the body. So you're going to keep spinning in the same direction. Yep. So your right hand wants to reach across your body so that you can fall to the floor. Yes, there we go. There we go. That's the one. That's it. That's it. Yeah, nice. That's good, Tash. You just had that little drop, but it looks great. Okay, so if we're going in, so what we're going to do to add, we're going to add on the start rather than going towards the end. Everyone's done a fan kick, Cashew. If you've done an invert, hopefully you've done fan kicks before. Yeah? I'm going to show you two ways to do this. So an easier version, if you're a little bit lower level. If you're a bit higher version, if you're a bit higher level, you're going to work on the hard version of this. So what we've got to do is create a spin from a fan kick position. So if I did this an easy way, I'm staying more upright and I'm dropping my body to the side to do a fan kick. So if I did it like this, I would just go forearm onto the pole. I'm going to get my pivot point onto the pole, so center my waist, and I'm going to go here with a little bit of a drop of the body. So that would be your basic version of learning fan kick, right? So here, weight on the pole, hands up, forearm's going to come into the pole, so rather than the hind feet to the side, okay, if I'm pushing the elbow, once my waist point is on, I'm going to look my head towards the floor so I can drop my shoulders, to drop the body down to come to the other side, yeah? So let's do a basic fan kick, but try to really control the movement. If you can do it with both legs super straight and drop the body down, extra bonus point. So slow down. Yes, nice touch. Yeah. Good, great, Sarah. Good. AJ, be careful of that internal stitches or whatever they do in there. Yeah. I'm using normal grip, not funky. Yeah. Is that what you were asking? It looked like it. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to the hard version because if you're just working on that, you can work on that for a second. What we want to do is kind of hold in a split and fall to the floor. So you can do this. Actually, what I asked, you can do it like a snatcher. You might really quickly do it. But what I'm going to do is use a forearm grip to stop in a split halfway. So if I do this, what I'm doing is, it's going to look more like this. And then I'm going to fall. So then we can switch up, right? So when you do this, what changes is that I'm not working side to side. What I'm going to have to do is extend my arms in my invert and then lean back. My bottom leg, so this base leg, wants to stay pushing to the floor as long as possible. So what I mean is I'm going to start to fan, right, as if I'm getting into here, and then my base leg is going to stay down as I drop the body to bring the leg to the ground, right? So what you're aiming for is to see the split happen halfway. So if I go here, I'm going out, I drop, and then I'm going to continue fully up to grab. Okay. This is actually it's a little bit hard. Don't worry about the ends, just try to work on the split part itself. So think now, the forearm on the pole, super important, right? So think not so much. So Tasha, where you're starting already, it's more like here, but you want it more like a sideways push. Does that make sense? It wants to not be nananasa. Oh, that's even more. Go in front of the pole more. Yeah, it's really hard because you're like this tiny on my video. I can't see you very well. So go do fan. So what you want to aim for is to do it so slowly. Yeah. So slowly that there's no change in speed as you do it. Right? So as you lift, I don't use any momentum, so I'm not going to push up into the fan kick. And I'm going to really drop the body so I can create my circle around. So I go through. As I'm going, I want to see that open, and then I'm going to rotate the body around. So my head swinging is what's going to allow me to sweep forward. Does that make sense? So same speed. Yeah, Jody, that was really good. Take it out, keep rolling, keep rolling. Yes, good. So try to really drop the body down as much as you can. Yeah. Sarah, you can put your, are you looking at seeing what everyone is doing? Tash, do it again. Do it again. So what? Okay, so yeah, nice, AG. What you want to think more of is how it's really hard to explain. You want to think less like it's a fan kick now. So less like you want to push off and face the pole, and more like you're trying to let your back leg and your split hang to the floor as long as possible. So if you can, try holding it just for a second, just so that you feel the midpoint, so that you don't miss the parallel split to the floor. So if you're here, see if you can hold that position there, drop the body, drop down for a little second so that you can see if you can find that spot. So when I do it, I am facing up, but I feel the pole in contact and I push both arms. So both arms are almost extended, right, with my chest and head facing the ground. So then hold, drop your back leg. Yeah, good. Nice, Jody, that was very good. And then let your head pull you up then. Yes, that's better. Tasha, is that your good side? Is that the better side? That side was very fluent. Sarah, if you have a question, feel free to, oh, you just want to watch. All right, so then if you can add that on, what we're going to try to do is go. We want to try to get around the pole as much as possible. So we're going to take our little step, try not to use any momentum on the jump. We're going to open, we land, I stay in contact with my waist. So my base arm lets go, I reach up. As that arm's coming through, I push and drive through the base leg to come around. And then I can add into my floor movement. So see how you go. So again, the key is kind of trying to move in the same speed the whole time. So we want to go fan, kicky, splitty thing. I don't know what I don't have any names for anything. I don't even know what my own moves are called anymore.
was going to say, you haven't even named it, have you?
Well, I don't know what it is. Pole's just pole to me. So
we all know what we're talking about.
Land. So keep the pole. Oh, so Tash, do you want me to do that bit? So we go. Here we go. Here. Find the floor. So my arms are still in position. They haven't moved. Once I'm facing the ground, the bottom arm, let's go. And then I switch. Right, to curve across. So I've essentially gone from left on top to right on top. So once you've landed your split, face the floor, keep the hands on, don't let go till your body is completely facing the floor. Then let go of the bottom hand and grab the left hand across the body, or grab the top hand across the body. So out, then land. So now face the ground, keep sliding. Slide your hands all the way down. Keep going till your body's completely facing the floor. Then reach your top hand up, yep, without standing up. So look to your right shoulder, Tash. Yep, that's better. Yeah, and grab across the body. Now let that leg thread through. There we go. And then you land on that leg at the front. There we go. And then you turn the other way. You do the same thing with the hands again. Does that make sense? So you're doing the same movement, just in a circle, like in a constant kind of rotation. So I'll do it again one more time. We do a little roll out, but I think we skip past it so that we can work on more kind of rotation things. So we go here, out, roll into the floor. You can keep that back leg straight. As I face the ground, I keep circling. Come up, grab up, push through, take that step again, switch, floor, look it out, however you want. So last little one and we'll move on to the next one. But also, if you guys are staying to jam, we can go through anything then. So down, nice, face the floor, turn up. Nice. Okay. Cool. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next little bit. Wait for you guys to finish. Nice. Okay. Cool. So, this I like to do like a lot of, and I feel like it's really good for building really base foundation in flow movement. So we're going to do it. Is kind of what we just did, but a basic hip spin. So if you do more spin pole, if you can do static technically, you do a lot of these type movements, so landing outside leg, so simple kind of switches. So what we want to do on the static is we want to create as much distance as possible so that we can get that spin away. So if I started stepping around the foot length, right, my foot's always going to land back in the same position. And if we do drills in class, we try to land where we start, so we're constantly creating that 360. What's a really good habit to get into, I think, is telling yourself and knowing where your body's going to go and trying to achieve that, so that then you can kind of become in full control of what's happening rather than kind of landing wherever. So if I start in that position, hands up, I'm going to raise up so that I get nice and tall. And then what I'm going to do is let my back leg kick back and behind me, and I'm going to let my body lead the spin instead of my leg. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to just open, extending the leg as far away as I can as I sweep. And when I land, I'm going to allow the leg to stay in contact with the floor to sweep around. What you want to do is try not to create too much distance with your feet from the floor. So this leg, the leg I stepped on, is not going to leave the ground until I feel it tap the pole. So I stepped, the legs behind, my chest leads, and then my shin taps the pole, and that's going to rebound me off so that I can complete the spin. So Try to get the hips and leg as far away as you can. So make sure your pole is on static if it's not. Okay, everyone watch again one more time. What everyone's kind of doing what we just did. So the difference being that we did kind of this. Does that make sense? What we want to do now, if I actually show you from behind, you think this leg here, it's actually going to stay in contact with the ground. So I'm not going to move it. My other leg is going to lead out and watch the bottom leg only. So I lead with the hips, it taps, and then it rebounds. So it's actually staying in contact as long as I can possibly get it. So let your chest and hips lead. It taps and then it flicks, yep. And what we want to try to remove to make it feel really flowy is try to remove the scissor moment. The moment where you feel the other leg come down and hit the ground. So what I'm trying to do is make myself keep both feet in contact with the floor so that there is no visible moment of change. Yeah, better, nice. So do a couple of them on both sides so that feels nice and smooth. Nice. And if you haven't swap into the other side. And what I want you to get used to doing is really leading the chest and the arm. Something that I do a lot that helps me create those kind of big circles is use my arm to make a circle figure. So I try to follow my arm with the lead of the body. And that's probably a little bit of a dance, like a dancer thing. But we take a step. I'm going to reach this arm so I have that opposing reach. And then as the leg comes around, I follow with the arm to tap it. And that just kind of helps me make my body do what I want my legs to do. So if my arm is doing the same, then the movement feels like it flows better to me. Yeah, nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is land it out in the same spot. I'm going to do kind of like a backward flare, so what I showed you on the floor. So as I land, what I want to do now is I'm going to turn into the pole. So rather than the leg coming behind, I'm going to land and turn in, trying to keep my leg in front of me. And this is why we'll try to wake our leg up with these quad flips. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn my bottom hand. And what I want to do is keep squeezing this leg towards my face as long as possible. I turn my top, and now my hips are going to lead the spin. So we're going to do the windmill motion that we did on the ground. So as I turn, I'm going to keep squeezing the leg until my hands are in, and now my bum is going to lead the spin to flick the legs. Yeah? So what things you want to feel? You want to feel that your bottom arm does not buckle. So I should feel like my bottom arm is constantly straight and pushing my hips away from the pole. So my bum is circling, yeah? I want to feel like my bum never hits the pole. If my bum hits the pole, I've created a pendulum rather than a circular motion. So if I'm there and I'm sweeping out, I'm going to drive through the thigh. I'm going to let my hips start to circle till I have to open the legs to swing. So there's a real change in the speed now because I'm swinging the legs hard halfway through the spin. Does that make sense? So what you want to, do you know, I don't know what you would call it again, but when you do a bird spin on the spin pole, you kind of do this and your arms wrapped around and you can feel your bum and your back in contact. You want to kind of do the opposite. So really important that you have the hips away from the pole. So again here, hips out. If I show you from this side, actually, so you see the bum go around, so we're there. Okay, so I come through, this leg is kicking towards me as long as I possibly can. And then I'm going to swing the legs really hard from that position. So try to keep the legs straight. And if you feel like you're not sure where you are in space, so your legs are kind of swinging around, think about where you go here. So halfway through the spin, you should feel like you're open legs and around. Yeah, nice. Cool, so a little bit more of a harder version of that if you want to add it on. Instead of landing the legs from that flare position, so at the moment we're doing this, right? We're going open, close. So that's exactly why we did this, because you go and then you flip to land. What we're going to do is instead of that shape, we're going to do it more like a leap. So right now I'm going circular. So if you imagine this is the floor, here's my pole. I'm moving in a really consistent kind of speed in a circle around my pole. Now what I want your body to do is go up, down. So you want to do it more like a leap. So when I get to this point, rather than see my legs kind of trace the ground, like they're drawn two circles, right, following each other. Now what I want to do is let this leg go up. So that it does kind of like a little bit of a kick towards the back of my head, right? And then I'm going to tuck. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to do a little leap, tuck. Okay, so it's going to allow me to tuck into the pole and re-grab. So the leap itself, yeah, nice Jodie. So I go around, I'm going to jump up. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck my knees in as I let go of my bottom hand to grab. And that's going to allow me to stop. So I'm going to go up, lift, tuck. So we go back, lift, tuck. Yeah, nice. And then spin, great. So all I've done at the end, Jodie, that's a little bit more a movement than you, is continue turning backwards. Does that make sense? So that it lands underneath my armpit. So round, yeah, swing back, tuck, grab, and then stop. Nice. And then again, if you want to take it to that next step again, then you can take it to an invert. So you can kind of use it as like an entry onto the pole. So if you wanted to add them together, we can take a step. So we're taking that sweep around, push, take it back, take it up. Yeah, so you can take it up, or you could take it back into your invert and then use that to hook onto your pole. Okay, so keep turning and then invert, Jodie, from there. So if you can, okay, if you're going to invert and you want to keep your spin going, try to slide your top hand to your bottom hand. So anytime, if you're creating momentum like this on the pole and you try to lift yourself up and over it, you're going to stop spinning, but also you're going to find it hard to lift your hips over the top of your head. So once you're turning backwards, because you've got that open-handed position, as you're trying to tilt back, so you're lifting your legs and then we're tucking your pelvis, try to slide the hand down on the lift so that you kind of tilt back at the same time that your legs are lifting. So then that way you're not kind of stuck muscling it. So slide the hand all the way down as you're leaning back. Yeah, Jodie, nice.
Do you mind doing it one more time?
Yeah, I can do it as many times as you want. Okay, so when we go around. So first spin, I'm going to try to get lots of this. So I take the step, I'm reaching away, and I come around. Stop and push this towards you. Lift, tuck, slide, and then open it out. When you guys are going back into your invert, as you're sliding down, try to keep pulling the chest between the arms, so there's arms on either side of the body, so you still end with that nice flat back to invert, so that we don't end, instead of kind of here, being rounded under load spinning. Slide, 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 slide. Yes. So Jodie, try to get your inside arm and your invert bent and wrapped around the pole a bit more, and then pulling the chest forward. I'm going to add a little bit, but Sarah and Jodie, oh, you can give it a go. Like, for sure, give it a go if you feel like you're ready. I just want to make sure these girls get a little bit on the end. So you can try this actually without doing the start. If we kind of go to the next little step, we can do a back spin, straddle spin to the floor. So if we go right here, and I start in the waist, what I want to do is lead if I'm in my right arm, I'm going to lead my right leg, so my inside leg, inside arm. I'm going to lead that leg to make myself spin in an invert to the floor. So to do it, first thing I want you to do is make sure that you are keeping that good invert position. So inside arm bent. I want to feel like I'm pulling the chest through a little bit. So it's that same kind of pull forward we're talking about at the start. And then I want you to try to maintain that shape without losing it. So chest open, pulling with the arms, and then what I'm going to do so that you force yourself to hold that shape to the ground is loosen your hand grip so that you slide. Yeah, so we're going to slide till we hit the back of our backs on the ground, but still keeping our hips off. So if I'm here, I'm going to draw a big circle. So this is going to help me start to create spin from nothing. So I'm going to go back. My outside hand's going to grab. Okay, and then as I'm grabbing this inside leg, I'm going to kick. So I'm going to go around and open. And then I'm just going to hold, spinning, all the way to the floor until I feel my upper back hit the floor. And then hold it for a little second before you roll all the way down. So if I went this way, so you can feel like you can copy, but from there, hand down. I want to find the waist. I'm going to draw a circle here. Right, and this is going to help me start that spinning motion. The hook. And then what I want you to do is lead this leg across the body. So we go back, lead, open, and I'm pulling the chest still to the floor. So big sweep to the side, try to take both arms around. So think about your arms helping the spin again. So arms, yep, that's it. And then swing. And then the point of the arms, right, is to help the legs and the body. So try to now, when you swing back, I want to lift the leg as I'm falling. So rather than going arms, stop, and then legs, I want to use the arms, and as I feel myself falling past the pole, my legs help my spin. So already start to fall and then lift the leg. So try not to separate them. I'll show you. So you go. I'm going to do it this way for a second so you can see. So I go here, and watch me start to lift and fall into it before I've even caught the pole. And falling, kick. Yeah, nice. Boom, boom, boom. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Nice. Okay, so then, as you're falling backwards, so you're getting a spin, you're going to hook your leg like you're going to do a butterfly, right? So everyone knows how to do a butterfly? So your hand's going to stay on the same hand as you would a butterfly. I'm not going to explain it, I'm going to assume you all know how to do it. And then I'm going to let go of the other hand as if I was to grab the pole, but instead of grabbing the pole, I'm going to grab the floor and I'm going to pull it underneath me. So I'm going to lead with the arm a little bit so I feel it come under. And then the thing that helps you find this position, it's so important, is the leg not on the pole, right, is going to swing me into the butterfly position. So I want it to not stay in straddle. The leg's going to go like this around in a circle. Boom. And I'm going to kick it really hard, and that's going to help me just find the spot. If you don't do that, you have to muscle it, and it's really hard, right? So I'm going to go, and we're going to add this onto the other combo. So we go here. So I'm going to take a swing. I'm going to take a swing up. Swing, I hook, then my leg swings back. So that then I can swing my way back out. Right? So we don't worry about coming down here so much. When we go back, if I do this without spin, right, I go here and I hook. I grab the floor, my legs forward. So now to get to the position, I have to swing this really hard behind my body and muscle my way to that spot, right? So it's much more effort than I want to do, by the way. So we're here. This leg's going to swing behind. I'm going to push through the arm above my head. It swings, and then I drive. Once I get here, this leg's going to kick back, and I want to find the leg hang. So don't let the hand come off till you find your leg hang. Then you can grab the pole so that you can go out. Right, so you're kind of doing what I don't know, we call snatch and grab. Here you go, I know the name of this one. And actually, Queenslanders, if you know Michelle Hafner totes made this up and named it. She's old school. It's the old school. Nice, and then kick it back and then go back the way you came. And the nice thing about this is if you don't make it and you allow yourself to use the momentum of the swing, then you'll just kind of not make it and then you'll swing back out the other way. Yeah, so the best thing to do is not muscle it and just allow yourself to fall back the way you came. Because if you did, say you did it in a routine or something and you didn't make it, no one would know if you did that. So swing back and behind, nice, and then back the way you came, really extend it. Nice. So then, if that's starting to feel okay, add it back onto your other combo now, so your dip spin combo. So now you're going to go, the whole combo is going to go step through, take a big sweep away, up, lift, open, here, and then back, open, down. So we go dip spin, backward flare, invert, leg hook, butterfly, snatch and grab. Nice, invert up, hook on, let go, swing the leg. Whoa, yes. Nice, and then you want to go the other way, that's it. Sarah, how are you feeling, okay? Oh, you've got a dog.
He's looking up to me like, what are you doing?
Oh, we love dogs. You know, my babies, I have twins. I don't know if you know this. I have twins. And they love my dog, like, so much. And my dog does not want to bar of them. Like, just is not, she's a little dog. And so she just doesn't like anyone except for me and my partner. So she's tolerating them. But it's so sad to watch because they just want to pat her so bad. And she just won't let them. Sad time. Okay, last little one on this and then we're going to move on again. Actually just have no idea what the time is. Nice, Andrea. Kick, tuck. Yes. Invert, hook. Look, here you go. Surgery. What surgery? Nice one. Okay. Cool beans. All right, fam. That's me done. But it was nice to meet you guys. Hope you had fun. You trained hard. All right, thanks, team. Thanks, Tash. Say hi to Bailey. Bye, guys. Take it easy. Thank you.